Welcome back to Explicit FPV. I'm your host, Christopher. This is toaster time. That's because we're in the toaster. I'm on my way home from work. Halfway home already. I'm like, hey, let's make a video. Gonna talk about some things. Gonna be 15 minutes, maybe. We'll see. But I've had two products, that I have purchased in the last couple months that I have not really talked about. And I kind of want to do like, 2 months in kind of deal. I bought the happymodel Cine 8 85mm cine from happymodel that I'm absolutely in love with. I've flown it a whole bunch, but you guys haven't seen that because it's been really windy out. So most of my flights are just getting that pack in during the day, chasing the cats around, flying around the basement, experimenting with settings, trying it with the camera on it, off it, weight, just, getting a feel for it. And it flies phenomenal. My only complaint, like I'm sure anybody else that owns one, because there's not really many things to complain about, is it's light. So if you're going to fly it outside and there's a decent breeze, that thing's going to be all over the place. Yeah, weight would help. I always run a bigger battery than everybody else does. Everyone's like, I recommend a 450. Well, I'll run a 650 because that extra weight, especially with a cine, kind of helps mellow it out a little bit, keeps the momentum that it has. It's harder to push around. I've been using it with the Insta360 Go. I'm not going to be doing that anymore. I got to modify the mount and do something custom. I've been talking with my brother, Quadfather, that's working on a mount for the Go 2. That should be here. It's on a boat or a plane. I don't know how FedEx is sending it, but that should be here soon. And I think that is going to be ass-kicking awesome when it comes to the footage you're going to be able to get. It's weird that it's only 50 frames versus 60, but I'll still be able to get that cinematic look with it. I think even at 25 frames when slowed down will be good. The horizon lock to me is mandatory. If you want to do cinematic, slow flow, cinewhoop, horizon lock is the way to go. It looks cool. If you're doing a slow flow with a freestyle with a 5-inch, yeah, you need that swaying back and forth. It helps to the appeal of what you're doing, especially if you're going to the beat, stuff like that. But I want to talk about that a little bit more. It's been, like I said, it's been out a little while. I haven't seen or read anything negative about it at all. I wish they 3D printed, because I don't have a 3D printer, that you could have gotten that thing, the whole 3D printed part of it in other colors than orange, because you know me, I would have loved the bright green, but it's cool. I'm okay with the orange. And I also had purchased the Beta/Insta SMO 4K 60 frames, basically like a naked GoPro type thing, which I've been quite pleased with. I just kind of set it up and have been flying with it and haven't really messed with any of the settings. I know there's more to offer with it, and I got to try some of the slow-mo stuff, but I've been having a weird ghosting effect, and the colors seemed a little weird, and I couldn't figure out what it was. Yeah, I'd get it into post, and then on Wondershare, mess around with it, and it ended up being that it was on vivid color instead of standard. So it gave this weird, because all the trees don't have leaves, you can sort of see right here, and it gave this weird kind of ghosting effect, and that has gone away, which is cool. But between that and the Go, the Studio, the Insta Studio, I wish, I like it. It does its thing. It's just kind of boring looking. It's not intuitive. I wish it had some of the things that the app has, where you could go in and add like the twist effect and other things right there in that, and then it would be a more useful tool. All I do is put my clip in there untouched, and then just render it at a higher bit rate. I don't, and if I want flow state, depending on what camera, or FPV or wide, that's all I do. So it'd be cool to be able to do more. Yeah, you can crop it and cut it, but it'd be cool to add effects and other things, and then drop it into my other editing thing, Wondershare, or what do they call it, Filmora X or 10. But yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at. I'd like to get some feedback, assuming you watch this whole video, because I know a lot of people want to watch the flights and skip past all this stuff. But this is part of the hobby too, is product and reviews and discussions and sitting in the toaster. But yeah, I'm going to talk about those some more. Gotten back in the swing of things. Brian's been coming down every weekend, and we're flying a whole bunch. Other than last weekend, it was just more chill. And we gotta get some other places. We gotta find some other secret little spots. Get out of our comfort zones. We got a couple cool little spots that we fly around here, but you want to break it up and make it interesting for everybody, so that way, you know, you're not seeing the same thing all the time. Like I did 3 packs Saturday, and they're all in the backyard, and I only did the 1 edit, and that's all I'm gonna do with it, where I put the Insta360 Go on the front, and I actually used a GoPro mount and some mods and put the GoPro Hero 7 facing backwards so you could get a different perspective. And I just played with a pretty basic edit where 90% of it was backwards, and then I did just a couple slaps forward to, you know, when I went through a certain gap or whatever, so you saw both sides of it. Like down in the gully between the power lines, there's this weird 2 bushes that grow, and there's a neat little gap through it that was kind of like my, I'm afraid to go do it because I don't want to go chase it into Tick Valley and have to go retrieve the quad, but it's become like a staple now for having to go rip through it on a pack. Just pushing myself a little more, but I showed both sides of that. One little fun thing I've been doing, I was talking with Patriot RC, is, you know, I made a logo and I kind of slapped it up real quick. I like editing it in quick. It's just like a flash, like a Where's Waldo thing, where I can just kind of put it up in the video real quick and see if people start picking up on it. Because like many, a lot of people don't have the attention span, or just watch 2 seconds of a video and comment and don't watch the whole thing, which screws up algorithms and all that dumb shit. But, you know, for those people that are actually enjoying the videos and stuff, I think it'd be a little fun thing, and maybe I'll turn it into a contest where who finds it first and posts their comment first, and maybe start giving something away small at the quad related aspect. I don't know. Let me know what you think of that, if that's a cool idea. I think that'd be fun. Plus, it, you know, editing creativity wise, that would be fun, so I can find neat ways to get it on there. But yeah, the weather is finally starting to turn. You want to talk about crazy? Like 2 minutes before 2 o'clock in the middle of the night last night, both my wife and myself, literally like zombies, freaking out, jumping out of bed, completely hysterical, thinking that there was an explosion. We heard this loud crash that shook the foundation of my house. All the cats went flying. My wife absolutely lost it. It took her 30 minutes to calm down. It scared her so bad she freaking had a panic attack and started crying. But we hear this crash. We're sitting up. I go running out. I'm looking as Zoe, my youngest, that had broken her arm, is sleeping on the couch because I don't want her up and down her bedroom stairs to go home. I went running in there thinking somebody slammed into the house. Maybe the power went out. The transformer in front of the house exploded. It was just this phenomenal instant explosion. And you could hear it after, you know, we were coming to in that milliseconds. The echo that it created in the river valley behind the house, you know, through the neighborhood, it was just unfreaking believably loud. I don't get scared. I don't get scared at all. And it freaking shook me to my core. And then the way that my wife reacted to it killed me. I felt so bad. But like I said, as the father and the man in the situation, I investigated the house, looked around. My daughter didn't even wake up. She's been getting her Tylenol and stuff, you know, in the middle of the night, which is helping her sleep, thank God. She didn't even know. My wife said something to her today, and she's like, really? I slept through that? That's weird. But what it ended up being was thunder. It didn't sound like thunder. It sounded like a legit explosion. And the reason why is it hit less than 500 feet or so from the house. If you've ever heard lightning, you know, you see the lightning flash, and depending on how far away it is, you get the crash. Obviously, the closer it is, there's no delay. And this didn't even have, it was just a ba-boom! And, holy crap. I'm curious, because I don't do any social media. My wife's on the forum here in Enfield, in Connecticut, and she does the Facebook thing with lots of people in the area, so I'm curious, too, where other people have heard this is obnoxious. And she had said that our friend Justin, which I don't get to see very often, was listening through his Echo or whatever that stupid thing is through Amazon, thunder music, thunder sounds to help him sleep. And he said he was confused because he goes, I don't remember it shaking the house and being that loud, because I didn't tell her to play it that loud. So he got a kick out of that while playing relaxing thunder sounds, the whole world started to shake. And he's 2 miles away from me at most. But this must have been one hell of a freaking bolt of lightning. And not, like I said, when we were kids, when we have all these horrific storms, we'd go hiking down in the woods afterwards, after the next day or so when it was dry and not raining. And we'd see some of the trees that were struck by lightning and what it did to them. And, you know, some of these old trees that were down there that were 100 years old, that were phenomenally, you know, the size of my car almost, huge, just disintegrated, on fire, burnt to a crisp, you know, singed down the middle. Some of them lasted, didn't fall, and it just sheared right through the middle of it. And then as time happens, it takes it away. But I am so curious to where that struck, because the amount of power that was created was unbelievable. And it happened so fast. I don't even know if there had to be a flash. I mean, it was lightning, it was thunder, but that's not what woke my wife and I up. It was just that absolute slamming sound that enveloped the entire house. It was crazy. And I popped on my phone. That was another thing. It started raining about 5 minutes after, because we both sat up and just like, you know, what the hell was that? And then I'm like, wait a minute, I think I hear something. And then it started to rain, and then I looked at the radar, and north of us about 10 miles, a phenomenally violent thunderstorm in Massachusetts was going through that way. And we just got one random lightning bolt. And we didn't have any storms. We didn't have any whatever you call it, part of the storm that went over us. We were easily 10 miles away, and just this random crack of lightning. But yeah, that was exciting. It said it happened 2 minutes before 2, and then I think it took me about a half hour, 40 minutes to go back to sleep, and my wife did not go back to bed till probably 4, and then she probably didn't even sleep that good then. It was crazy. But it's nice to see, like now, today it's 80 degrees, the weather's kind of coming back. It'd be nice if it wasn't windy. I don't know why it's been so windy this spring. ADD moment. I ordered another charger. It's basically a newer version of my LiPo charger, which I've had since I started this hobby. Real simple, basic. It'll charge up to 6S. The high volt LiPos and some other style batteries that I would mangle, so I'm not going to say them. But I found a newer version of it. It was super cheap, so that way I can charge a couple more batteries faster. And this one, I forgot, is like the one I have, and there was a module that comes with it. And you plug it in, and there's an app that you can download on your phone, so you can walk away from your charger per se. You know, if I'm outside flying and we're charging packs downstairs, I can keep an eye on my batteries, or start batteries, or end them. It tells me what is charging and all that stuff, which I think is really cool. So while in the yard, because I'm assuming there's a limited range, that I can see what is going on. And that's always a very safe thing when it comes to batteries, because of how violent and dangerous they can be. But I think that's all I got. I'm pooped. Might go out and get some Mexican tonight, some tortilla soup with my wife's sister, which we found out 2 weeks, that she's pregnant. We are super excited for them. Can't wait. Miss the little ones. My kids are old and yell and hate me half the time. I miss that, where they want to hug you and they're mumbling cute things and they're saying dad for the first time. I truly miss that. That was some of the best parts of my life, and it seems like it was just yesterday. And my eldest is going to be 12 in October, and the master of disaster, Zoe, she'll be 8. That's another thing. I keep busting her balls. She doesn't like it. We've nicknamed her the master, or MOD, of disaster, because some of her things that she's done, like her second time breaking her arm, she's headbutted the refrigerator, split her head open when she was 2. I mean, all kinds of things. She trips and falls all the time. So I've been debating getting a tattoo and getting something that says MOD. She laughs about it, but then there's certain days where she gets all embarrassed. But at the same time, she thinks it's cool, and you know, dad laughs. But I'm pulling in the driveway, go see what's going on with the family. I'll have to get into those videos talking about that stuff, and then I want to talk about the night hike that we did this past Saturday and how close we got to some coy dogs For you guys that are in this area, they're wild coyote, but they've been bred through accidents basically with wolf. Some, you know, make their way down here, and they've been rehabilitated and kind of let go back into the wild, and the population has changed. In the last 10 years, they've gotten bigger, more aggressive. The packs are significantly bigger. So they're not these little tiny, chintzy, scary, not scared coyotes. So we ended up spooking some deer right at the bottom of the hill down here, like literally 2 minutes into the hike, which was cool. Brian was going to stop and he was going to stand next to this tree to realize that there's a bee right there. There was a pair of eyes almost behind him. I shined my light and it scared me because I had the red part of my headlamp on and not the white. And there's two glowing, beady red eyes, which kind of got me off guard. And then I kind of chuckled and was going to laugh because it scared him. It was a freaking, he thought it was an owl. And for a second, the white on the face, the way the owl's round face is, and the shouting, it looked like that. But then I walked closer because I'm not afraid of shit. It was a possum just sitting in the tree, confused why we were just sticking our flashlights, 8 feet away or so from it, looking at it. But we left it and we walked probably another minute around the corner. And I saw something kind of pop up through the little bushes and then pop back down. And then I called the guys over. And then when it popped its head up, realized it wasn't a deer, that it was a very large coy dog. And it was probably eating. That's why he kept ducking down and looking up, because he was eating his meal. And then he was looking to make sure that we weren't coming in his direction, because then he would have been coming in ours. And we were all freaked out because it was a very large dog. But on that note, it was a fun hike. I got to figure out how to get some footage down there while we're down there for you guys. Chet's got this night vision thing, effing Chet or Machete. That might be cool if we can find a way to record maybe through the phone. Man, that is an ugly bee. Record through it so at least you guys can see what we see, because we go out there for 2.5 hours and there's never a dull moment. It's fun. So thanks for tuning in. I hope you appreciate the conversation. I appreciate if you stayed through the whole time, and stay tuned for some more fun. Peace out.